This is True North Story, the original podcast series. Learn, love, listen, live. Are you ready to discover your True North Story? With your hosts, Tama Fulton and John Hudson Masserol.
Hi, is this Nicole?
Yes, this is Nicole.
Nicole, it's Tama and John from True North Story.
Hey, Tama and John. Thank you, guys.
Hey, you know us. At True North Story, we aim to please.
Oh, that made my day. Thank you.
And of course, you work with the best, Granger Smith.
I work with the man.
Yes, you do. He is the man.
I do. I totally believe that.
Thank you, guys. I told Nicole it's very strange to fall and be klutzy enough to fall and then have people want to talk to you about how you fell.
Speaking of that fall, most of the country music world was on edge as they had read about what had happened. Tell us a little bit about what was running through your mind, Granger, when that took place.
What went through my head? It happened so fast. It was just a blink of an eye. I shifted my weight on my left foot on a monitor. I had one foot up, kind of up on the monitor. And as I shifted my weight, and the main reason I know this is from watching the video, and I've watched it on all different angles on the internet as it's come through, but as I shifted my weight, I fell and it spun me around, and which made me land on my back. And so the first thing I thought was, as I hit, it was a really hard hit, considering how it was kind of a low stage. It's only about 5 feet, but I hit really hard for just 5 feet.
Did you think you hurt yourself?
I thought something's really wrong. And they say with rib injuries, you could hear the crack. And so I definitely felt it. There was music playing, so I didn't hear it, but I felt something kind of crack inside. So that was my first thought is, well, besides just being embarrassed, the first thought I think that anyone has is, well, crap, I just fell in front of 2,000 people. That's embarrassing. But other than that, I felt like something was wrong.
So you were really injured.
I didn't realize that till I got back up and climbed back onto the stage. And usually in my life, when something kind of happens like that, the first thing that I want to do is be funny. I think my dad used to always do that. So I wanted to kind of give the two arms in the air and, hey, I'm okay, yay, like I'm an Olympic diver or something. And stood up, but only one arm, my right arm came up and my left arm stayed down.
Holy cow.
And so I thought, okay, my left side is really hurt, but maybe just really bruised. But then I went and I was going to say something on the mic. I was going to say, must have been a city boy that put that up there just as a joke. And so I walked towards the mic. I realized I didn't have any breath. So I wanted to catch my breath. So I went to my right and just kind of fist pumped my drummer, and then to my left and fist bumped my guitar player just to try to grab a breath real quick to kind of buy me a little time. When I started singing and I noticed I had a very short breath and I had about half of my lung capacity that I was used to, my tour manager looked at me and he said, he mouthed, "Are you okay?" And I said, no.
Wow, Granger. On True North Story, we try to learn from our guests what it is that motivates them and gets them going. But in this case, you had to keep going. What is it that you had within you that didn't just give up and say, hey, listen, I'm really hurt here, and walk off the stage?
It never crossed my mind whether that was a decision or not. It never was. I never thought, do I have a choice to finish or not? A show couldn't end like that. It never can. And unfortunately, this happened a couple other times when I've gotten hurt. This is the worst, but it can't end like that. People travel to see these shows. They pay money. They want to see some of the last couple songs that every artist builds up what he wants fans to really hear at the end, and they can't come to not hear those songs. So it didn't cross my mind to not finish them at all. I thought to myself, well, it doesn't end like this. It just doesn't. Whether or not I have to be carted off or drug off or carried off, it's just not going to end like that. Where that comes from, I relate a lot of things back to Texas high school football when I played. When you're in a team sport like that, there's just no excuses and there is no individuals. It's always about the team, and you never let your teammates down. And my band members were still playing, and a lot of people came to be part of that night, and there was no way I was going to let them down. And
Hey, Granger, can you tell us a little bit about how your rehab's going, your recovery? When do you expect to get back out on the road again, and just let your fans know that they can come out and support you?
the second the doctors told me what happened and were kind of finished with me in the hospital, I thought, okay, here we go. Challenge accepted. What's the record time that someone could recover from this? What is everything I could possibly do to get over this and get back as quickly as possible? And I do that as a challenge to myself, but also I feel like this company, this touring company that I have with all my crew and band looking up to me, and I expect the best out of them. I expect them to take care of themselves and to bounce back with adversity, and I speak these kinds of things to them quite a bit, and I stand up in front of them, and I want them to be the best men that they could be, the best fathers and husbands and players, people that represent our team. I want them to be the best that they could be, and so because of that, I have to have the highest standard on myself. So things like this, I'll jump on my phone, and I started Googling and watching videos and watching these kind of injuries and seeing. The first thing I knew was I have to make my diet absolutely 100% flawless. Everything that goes in has to be some kind of food that is only going to help me, nothing to hinder me, no sugars, be very careful with anything processed. And then I wanted to take on every kind of breathing exercise that I could, so I watched all these yoga breathing exercises. And things like this are great because at the end of the day, when this is all finished, I'll have a bunch of new breathing exercises that I'll probably carry with me long after this injury, and that no doubt would help a singer or someone that's active and singing on the stage. I think this will help me in my career to have more endurance and to have healthier lungs, and so I think there is a lot, in a strange way, there's a lot of good that's actually going to come out of this.
Rumor has it you were trying to get out on the road tonight. What's up with that, Granger?
I said I could play Vegas tonight, and the label said no way. But here I am. I promise I could have. I promise. Because yesterday I was on the stationary bike, and I did about 30 minutes, and I felt good. So I feel like I could have the endurance to do a show, but they wouldn't let me.
What's been the biggest obstacle for you to overcome in this recovery process?
Standing up and sitting down has been the biggest pain, and I finally got over that Wednesday. Tuesday was the worst. It led up to Tuesday with the most pain, and I was having to double up on medication because I'd be fine if I was standing, and I'd be fine if I was laying down or tilted up, but the process of going down and getting up was like a shotgun in my spine. And I just have never experienced that before. But if you're down and you can't get back up, even if you tried, unless someone helps you, that's a very claustrophobic feeling.
Well, so now you're back in Texas. That's a far way away from New Jersey, and you're kind of in recovery mode. What is going on with the family and the kids? Are they doing anything to help Daddy heal faster?
Yeah, that's been great. Just being home. I'm going to be home all told for 6 weeks. And my wife and I figured out that's the longest period of time I'll ever be home since we've even known each other.
Wow.
Good
Oh
grief.
my goodness.
Holy cow.
Not even since we've been married, but since we've even known each other, I've never been home for 6 weeks. And so there's something kind of exciting about that, and exciting about the band and crew being able to rebuild and take all the gear and clean it, and all the transportation gear that we have needs fixed. And so me being at home, my mother came in, so she helps a lot. Having 3 kids is almost impossible for Amber to handle me and the kids. So my mom's helping out a lot, and the kids 2 older kids have been super sweet and very helpful. I put them on what I've been calling missions. So I'll have a mission and I'll say, all right, line up, there's a mission. I need my socks on. And they'll put my socks on for me. All right, I need my shoes. And they'll run, go get my shoes. And so I'll need an ice pack. I've been icing for 20 minutes every hour. And so they'll run and get my ice pack, and they've been great about all that. Daddy, when you get well, we're going to do this. Daddy, when you get well, we're going to do this. So I guess they were prepped by Amber, but they really understand what happened, how it happened, and that I can't be normal for a little bit longer.
This is True North Story the original podcast series. And now, back to the program.
So, Granger, have you ever had anything like this happen to you before?
Yeah, this is my third, and I'm starting to rack them up now. But in 2013, running up some stairs, I had gone down to kind of slap some hands on the front row, and I was running back up some stairs, and there was a low-hanging speaker that I totally didn't see, and I hit it right on my forehead. Same thing. I thought to myself, that really hurt. And as I went to finish the show, when I turned to the crowd, I saw their face turn in horror, and then I realized my face was bleeding really bad.
Ooh, ouch, that sounds painful.
And that ended up requiring 8 stitches.
Yikes.
In my forehead. This always has to do with me trying to interact with the front row, it seems like, and I should probably learn. But in 2014, I was reaching out to somebody's hand to give them a high five, and the stage started tilting forward, and I reached back to catch myself and caught the truss to the stage, and it pulled my shoulder completely out the socket and dislocated it. I had to go back and have these firemen come and help put it back in the socket. So this is number 3 now with the ribs.
3 times.
3 times?
3 times.
You are a liability, Granger.
He is. Granger is a real, he's a loose cannon.
Make sure everything's Granger proof.
No kidding.
I should, but you're just not quite thinking. And after so many shows go by and nothing happens, you get complacent. And I need to keep up with that.
Your fans love you, Granger. Were you surprised at the entire media being interested in what happened to you?
Yes, I was. And I shouldn't be, because I feel like I have so many amazing people in my life that are friends and fans and other artists. Heard from so many other artists, other producers, and other record reps, and then countless fans and tons of radio folk and tons of media folk. Never gets old. Every single text, email, tweet means so much to see that, because this is something that is beyond music. It's people that actually care about you and not your song and not your chart position and not where you are in the festival lineup. They actually care about you and your well-being. And so that's really been special, and I'll never forget this whole incident. And a lot of it has to do with all the people I've heard from that'll make this something I'll never, ever forget.
Speaking of things you'll never forget, Granger, what's it like having If the Boot Fits in the top 10?
That's been a huge treat for me to see If the Boot Fits work like this, because there's a lot of chatter that it's hard to make a second single work, and especially if you have a number 1, and then to come back, and it's harder to make the second single work a lot of times.
Whoa, whoa, diamonds in the sky lighting up those eyes like whoa, whoa, you're the kind of fire that I can't deny. Gets me high, cross my heart, hope to die, pick a star, make a wish. Yeah, girl, you could be my all night, dancing in the headlights, fairy tale good as it gets. If the boot fits.
Just like Backroad Song, it's a testament to the team that has been ferocious on this single and resilient. I love to see the team coming together and making a vision happen again 2 times in a row. If it ends tomorrow, that's a top 10 single and a very, very good credential for a lot of people that have worked very hard.
So, Granger, what's it feel like to be on Cloud 9?
It still feels like Cloud 9. It still feels like people are going to wake up and go, oh, that's just old Granger. He's the same guy he's always been. We could have a completely sold-out show, and I'm still asking everybody how it looks inside the venue because I'm still worried about it. I kind of like that. I like that I get a little bit anxious before every show, wondering if anybody's going to show up or how the parking lot looks. Knowing that there is success is only reassurance that we're still making right decisions and we're still on a unique path that we need to stay on.
Hey, Granger, when you're out on the road, do you like to write songs with other bands? I think you wrote some stuff with Florida Georgia Line on the last tour. Tell us a little bit about that process.
Teller and Hubbard and I got a couple really good songs that we're happy about. I've been writing a whole lot on tour with a lot of different people, and kind of just getting into the groove of who that works with and who it doesn't work with. I'm trying to get everything accomplished these days on the road. Everything from writing to recording the demo. I have a little bit of recording gear on my bus that I can take care of that with, so that when I get home, I could just be a normal dad and don't have to worry about anything else. And so a lot of this new album the next album we put out, it's going to be completely written on the road. But yes, I'm really happy with the couple of songs I got with Tyler Hubbard with Florida Georgia Line.
Granger, what does it mean when you say you don't choose this life, you are this life?
That's right. Don't choose this life. And I've said that a lot of times, and that I say that meaning at whatever level you are as an artist, whether you're on the street corner with a guitar case collecting tips or whether you're in an arena. It's just what we do. People like me, it's just what we do. And we're a prisoner of it in a lot of ways. We're a prisoner of the passion, a prisoner of the lifestyle. Sometimes when you're a prisoner of it and everything's great, it's a dream come true. It's amazing. And sometimes when you're a prisoner of it, you're in a setting where nothing is clicking and every gear is missing. It's a nightmare. But when it does work, it's a beautiful thing. And so I could only hope, and everything is pointing towards 2017 being another great year, very similar to 16 on another level, one notch up, one notch tighter on the belt. We have a lot of great tours planned, some of the big headliners in country music we're going to be with. What I'm most excited about is that we have a new album that most likely, it's not official or anything, but most likely we'll have a new album in 17 if everything goes right. And everything that we learned in 16, now we get to really, really put it to work in 17. So excited.
Granger, when we talked before, you told me that you would tell us what Yee Yee Nation was all about for those people who don't know. So tell us, where'd Yee Yee come from?
First I'll say this. My brother Tyler and I, who's actually dinging in my phone right now, he and I were making a bunch of videos about 2008, 9, 10, trying to promo the music. We were coming up with funny videos and documentary videos and informative videos and music videos, trying to come up with as many ways to promo the music as we could. One of those ways to come up with a promo was this video, 3-minute video of this ultra country boy named Earl Dibbles Jr. We filmed him out where my parents live in Central Texas. He was kind of represented some family members of ours. So it was really easy to get into these stories, and it was a character that was super easy for me to talk because so much of it was familiar to me. And in that video, halfway through, I'm shooting a shotgun, and my brother, who's directing at the time, says, "Shoot from the hip, raise it above your head, shoot from behind, hold it up and yell yee yee," which is like an old Texas cattle call, yee yee. So I shot it, I yelled yee yee. That video went viral, started getting a lot of views on YouTube. And after a while, people started coming to my shows holding up signs that said yee yee. That seemed to be the part of the video that became the most popular and that people remembered. And as more and more people said it, the more we wanted to adopt it. And I started saying it on stage. And before too long, I'll still remember the very first time I saw it out anywhere was I was driving down some old roads back in, kind of the middle of nowhere, and I saw a car dealership with yee yee flags on every vehicle that they have in the front. And I called Tyler and said, "Man, we've got to trademark this because it's starting to take off and more people are using it." So we did. We went through the process and trademarked it, made it ours, and now we have hats and shirts and everything, and that's kind of our trademark, and I love it.
Hey, Granger, as we wrap up the podcast, can you share with us what you're most thankful for in 2016?
This year has been a year I'm never, ever going to forget. And that's saying something because I feel like I've had some really blessed years. And this year I had a baby boy, what we think has completed our family. And we have 3 beautiful, healthy kids. I have a beautiful wife that I still don't understand how I deserve her. I have 2 brothers that both work with me. One of them just started this year working with my other brother, Tyler, who's my manager. A band and crew that not only do I consider them just great guys to work with, but I actually consider them friends and best friends and people that I would hang out with in a non-working setting. That's saying a lot, and all that stuff is a tremendous amount to be thankful for. So this year, 2016, is the best year I've ever had on all kinds of levels, and I'll never, ever forget it.
Hey, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Granger.
Something faded and worn in the knees, fits like a glove and frayed at the seams. And throw this old guitar in there, please, when you bury me in blue jeans.
Thank you for listening to True North Story, the series. Follow us on Twitter @True North Story. And tune in next time for another True North